Our first stop today is Pyha Church. Pyha in translation means holy. It's also the location name here. And at the first glance it's pretty normal church, but if you examine closer you'll see that whoever built it had defense in mind. We then visited a Soviet exhibition in the castle of Kuressaare. I did not record much in the castle, as I want to make a separate video of it one day. To make up for it, here are a couple of Soviet-era jokes. What are the new Olympic Hotel walls made of? Micro-cement. 70% cement, 30% microphones. Old lady is standing in front of a store and staring at her empty shopping bag. She can't remember if she's going to the store or already leaving. Soviet Russia wanted to send aid to Poland in the form of 2 million nuts. Poland politely refused because the nuts were still attached to the soldiers.
So I'm not going to show you much video footage of this castle itself, but I will have to return another time because filming everything there, even only from the castle point of view, not including the museums, it will take the whole day. Anyways, we've just finished a little meal in a little burger joint called Viking Burger. I had an absolutely delicious garlic smoked cheese burger, and my girlfriend took a Viking Burger with fries. So we're full and we're headed south, and we're going to see a military museum. It was recommended by some locals, and as we don't have much planned anyway, we thought why not visit it. So it's only going to be a couple of hours, probably, but still, that will take us all the way to the evening, and so we can then continue on to our next accommodation. Anyway, let's see what the museum has to offer.
entered the museum and obtained some tickets from a self-service, which is quite funny. And this museum is actually on a territory of old Soviet military base. I'm not sure what kind. I'm suspecting it was border guard, but I don't know for sure. This was a room for weapons. I don't quite understand if it was for the people on guard duty or if there were weapons being guarded, but something like that. The signs are all in Russian because that was the official language of the time. This guy looks really bummed out, as if he just died and didn't complete his mission. This is a pretty cool thing. It's a calendar, and I'm not sure if I'm allowed to move it, but you can turn it like this and it will flip the dates. So you will just flip it once and you will have the current date, and the next morning you'll flip it again and it will present the next date. It sort of has slides in it which slide back and forth. This is where you would see the radar going in circles and seeing if there's anything the signal bounces back from. And on the wall we can see the map with our location. That's the most southern end of this island. And proper telescope too. You see that ship there? Possibly trying to smuggle someone out of the Soviet Union. Now you see it. So we've come out now, and this is where a cannon would have been stationed, or was stationed. It's right next to the building itself, where the museum bit was. And here the cannon would have fired at any possible attackers from the sea. So we're now climbing up to a border guard tower, or it's sort of a border patrol tower where they were watching more like Coast Guard or something, that who's moving with what kind of boats and so forth. I had the similar kind tower near my childhood home, and I even remember when it was taken down after the Soviet Union collapsed and the troops were pulled out. And the worst thing is I'm afraid of heights, but I will have to see what they saw. Here again we have the radar thingy with the exterior intact this time. We have this lovely hole in the floor. I'm pretty sure that back in the day they had some sort of hatch to cover it up to avoid anyone falling down. And let's see what they saw. still very afraid of heights. But they can see pretty far here. From here, I think I can see actually Latvia on the horizon there. Here we have another cannon base, and I think that concludes our trip to this museum. I didn't show you much. I did try to find a few of the better things. There's lots and lots of things here. Many shells and propaganda posters and various things, but it's not quite as well organized as I've used to seeing in museums. There's often things are mixed with modern day and old age, and not many signs there. I was sort of expecting the house we first looked in to be a representation of the military base of the time, you know, things set up as they were at the time, but it was more like just signs what kind of room it was, and then shelves piled full of things, and I assume that they just have shortage of space, and that's the reason. And this could improve over time, but generally there were lots and lots of interesting things here, and I'm very glad I came.